Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Chrisley helps Savannah with Thanksgiving meal. This will be Chrisley's second Thanksgiving behind bars, but those closest to her will still feel her presence. She is helping her daughter, Savannah Chrisley, with their holiday meal, but how is that possible? Keep reading to find out what part Julie will be playing in the festivities. Chrisley helps Savannah with Thanksgiving meal. It has been nearly 2 years since Todd and Chrisley headed off to their respective prisons. Todd is serving his time in Pensacola, whereas Julie is in Kentucky. This has been quite a struggle for the couple who has limited communication. They must rely on their daughter, Savannah Chrisley, to relay love messages when she speaks to her parents. She has spoken out on the atrocious living conditions her parents have been subjected to, especially Todd. The holidays only amplify the fact that this is not a short-term situation. Last year, nanny Faye Chrisley was visiting friends in Florida, so she went to see Todd on Thanksgiving. In the blink of an eye, the holiday has rolled around and Savannah is in charge of everything. She wanted to keep the traditions alive as much as she could. So when she visited Julie recently, she was able to get some help from her mother and shared it on her Instagram. Rather than cracking open a recipe book or searching online, Savannah had Julie write down all she needed to know to make the perfect homemade holiday meal. Chrisley wrote down a whole menu for Savannah, which included several pasta dishes and a salad. There were also desserts, and then she added all of the ingredients necessary. Last but not least, Julie added in the exact type of paper plates her daughter should purchase. This may not be the typical turkey and mashed potatoes, but it does look like a feast. Now, Savannah Chrisley can have her mother at her holiday meal and pay homage to her in a very special way. Sad and disheartening news. Chrisley had her resentencing, and it did not go the way that anyone in the family had hoped. In fact, her probation was extended by 2 years, which blew Savannah Chrisley and her followers away. She addressed it on her Unlocked podcast, as she often gives prison updates. It did not seem fair that this would happen with no rhyme or reason, and some fans agreed. Of course, not everyone cared and felt that the family should face the consequences of their actions. Regardless, Savannah will keep fighting for her parents and won't back down. Until then, she will have a lovely holiday meal courtesy of Julie. The scent of cinnamon and roasted turkey filled the air as golden light streamed into the Chrisley kitchen. It was Thanksgiving morning, and while most homes were just beginning to stir, Savannah Chrisley was already elbow-deep in sweet potato mash, her perfectly curled hair tucked under a flour-speckled bandana. "Lord help me," she muttered, peering over a pile of half-peeled carrots. "Why did I agree to host Thanksgiving again?" Chloe, now an ambitious tween with strong opinions and a sharper tongue than her Uncle Chase, leaned against the counter with her arms crossed. "Because you said you wanted to start new traditions," she said matter-of-factly. "And because you're bossy." Savannah rolled her eyes, then laughed. "Okay, fair point." But behind the teasing, Savannah felt the weight of the holiday. It was their first Thanksgiving in a long time that felt almost normal. Almost. While her father Todd remained in prison, her mother Julie had recently been granted a temporary home release for good behavior and compassionate family visitation. For Savannah, the news had been nothing short of a miracle. A knock at the back door pulled her from her thoughts. She quickly wiped her hands on a towel and rushed to open it. And there she was. Julie Chrisley stood bundled in a tan wool coat, a scarf looped around her neck, and a pan of cornbread dressing carefully balanced in her gloved hands. "Hi, sweetheart," Julie said, her voice soft but sturdy. Savannah threw her arms around her mom, careful not to drop the hot dish. "You're here," she whispered, eyes suddenly misty. "I can't believe you're really here." Julie smiled, pulling back just enough to look into her daughter's face. "Of course I am. I wasn't about to let you ruin Thanksgiving with store-bought stuffing." They both laughed, loud, genuine, healing laughter. It was the first time in a long time that the walls of the Chrisley home felt filled with more than just echoes of the past. Inside, Chloe squealed and launched herself into Julie's arms. "You smell like vanilla and prison," she joked. Julie raised an eyebrow. "Well, I was going for vanilla and victory, buzzed with energy." Julie took command with the same southern charm and no-nonsense attitude she always had. Savannah didn't mind. If anything, she welcomed it. For the first time in months, she wasn't doing it all alone. "Okay, Savannah," Julie said, surveying the scene like a general before a feast day battle. "The turkey looks good. Did you remember to brine it overnight?" Savannah hesitated. Define overnight. Julie's eyes widened. "Girl, you better pray for a juicy miracle." As the women got to work, the kitchen turned into a blend of chaos and comfort. Flour dusted the countertops, pots clanged, and Chloe darted around sampling the pie fillings when she thought no one was looking. Julie tackled the green bean casserole with a kind of precision that suggested muscle memory. She hummed old church hymns while arranging marshmallows on the sweet potatoes, occasionally pausing to coach Savannah through gravy thickening and how to keep the rolls from burning. "I wish Daddy could be here," Savannah said quietly as she stirred the cranberry sauce. Julie nodded, her hands still busy. "Me too, baby. But he'd want us to laugh, to eat too much, and to love hard today. That's how we honor him." There was a pause. Then Savannah asked, "Do you think things will ever go back to how they were?" Julie stopped stirring. She turned, wiping her hands on a dish towel before placing them on Savannah's shoulders. "No," she said softly. "And that's okay, because sometimes the new version of life is stronger. We're stronger. Look at you, raising Chloe, building your business, keeping this family glued together. I'm proud of you." Savannah blinked back tears. "Thanks, Mom. I just wish I could call you anytime. Or that you could stay longer." Julie pulled her in for another hug. "Me too. But today, we make it count." Just then, Chase and Grayson burst in with a bag of ice and a questionable can of whipped cream. "We got dessert reinforcements," Chase announced, tossing the can to Chloe like a football. Grayson peered at the oven. "Is it safe to eat anything in there, or should we order pizza?" Julie turned sharply. "You better sit down and peel something, or I'll make you the turkey." The boys immediately got to work, if only because Julie's threat carried the same weight it always had. By mid-afternoon, the table was set with heirloom dishes, candles flickering beside plates of steaming mashed potatoes and buttery corn. The family gathered, tighter, maybe a bit bruised, but still very much whole. As they sat down, Julie offered to say grace. The room went still. "Lord, thank you for this meal, for the hands that prepared it, and for the miracle of being here with my family today. We know life doesn't always go how we plan, but we trust in your purpose. Help us hold on to each other, even when the world feels like it's spinning out of control." "Amen." "Amen," everyone echoed. The clatter of silverware soon filled the room, along with laughter, teasing, and the occasional "pass the rolls" shouted across the table. Chloe declared the pumpkin pie a spiritual experience, while Chase insisted his cranberry-to-turkey ratio was scientifically perfect. After the meal, as the dishes piled high and the sky darkened outside, Savannah stepped onto the porch with her mom. They sat on the swing, wrapped in blankets and silence. "Thank you for coming," Savannah said finally. Julie looked out into the trees, where the last leaves of autumn clung to the branches. "There's nowhere else I'd rather be." They rocked back and forth slowly, the porch creaking beneath them like it always had. The future was uncertain, the past still painful. But in that moment, surrounded by the echoes of laughter and the aroma of spiced pie, it felt like everything would be okay. Because love, like Thanksgiving, shows up in unexpected ways. Even if it comes wrapped in cornbread and cranberry sauce, with a mother's touch that never fades.